This is Smithy.tv.
All right. That is the kind of thing I like.
Different from testing screws.
That's right. I like screw testing. I have a list. Anyway. Tonight on Smithy TV.
Test drive.
The Mind Reels is back again.
We're doing that a lot lately.
We're back a lot. I do want to go on record, though. We have not gotten any of those resumes we were asking for last week.
No.
I don't know what that's about. For those of you just joining us this week, we were talking last week how Sue and I, we go around a lot of places together.
We enjoy many of the same things.
We do. That doesn't make us a couple.
We're not married.
We're not engaged. We're not dating. So we're still
not
waiting.
Each other, not other people.
No. So we're just waiting for all these resumes that we've asked for to start showing up. With pictures, of course. So not every.
And not like pictures that you've drawn.
No. Just,
although, I don't know, it could be cute.
Could be. But anyway, just none of those have shown up yet. Our website is live, so I have checked. So, but you know, I'm just saying. And my Facebook page, your Facebook page. Yeah. Nothing. Weird. But anyway, we are joined this week by.
Although that episode hasn't aired yet, technically.
That's true.
So
all right.
We're
so
fine.
There's that. All right. we're joined this week by a man I am actually really lucky to call friend, who I've only known for, if he actually collapse it into like time, it's probably less than a day. But I got to spend a day on his set for his series. He's got a web series coming up called Pete Winning and the Pirates. And we are joined today by the creator, the star, director, writer, all-around jack of all trades on this episode series, Mike Donis.
Hello.
Not Jack.
That's right. No. With that kind of build-up, this better be good. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, you've built me up so much, I don't know what I'm supposed to do now.
I gotta go.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys can do this without me, right?
But we always do like to start really nice, really simple. Mm-hmm. And I don't think I asked you when I met you, so this might be out of left field for you. All-time favorite movie?
Oh, gosh. You know, because I'm the type of person where I have so many different kinds of favorite movies that depending on, you know, the day I wake up, it will be a different favorite movie. I mean, if I had to actually pick one, it would probably actually just be the original Star Wars, just because it was, well, it's awesome. I mean, who doesn't like it, right? I mean, well, I don't like whoever doesn't like it.
Exactly.
No, it's just, I mean, because it's just so much
classic,
damn fun, right?
Yeah.
Like, heck, yeah.
Yes.
That's what movies are.
And we grew up on it. That's what made us love movies.
Yes.
Love going to them.
Totally.
Yes.
And I every time I go to the theater now, actually, I'm looking for that same experience. I'm looking for that same feeling of like being excited, being amazed, being
I haven't got
awed.
that in a long time.
No, me neither.
I think Jurassic Park might have been the last one.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was really a good one.
We're just kind of wow.
First time seeing it in the theater.
You get the big brachiosaur walking by.
I actually never saw Jurassic Park in theaters. My first viewing of it was on television.
Oh man.
Pan and scan, edited for TV, taking out the swearing, and yeah. So it was actually quite impressive when I finally got to see it on DVD in the late 90s or whatever it was. And I remember...
it just screened as part of the film festival last year, the digital film festival that they do in February,
Although I think they're doing the 3D re-release though.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to miss that. Well, in fact, Jason Lever, who
Jason's awesome.
co-directs Pete Winning, they were screening Jurassic Park in the cinemas a couple of weeks ago or a month ago or whenever his birthday was, November something. He's going to kill me now. I don't remember his birthday. But yeah, he invited everyone there, and I couldn't make it because I had a friend who was out of town who had a movie screening as part of a film festival, so I had to go to that. And not had to. I mean, it was a great film, but but I missed Jurassic Park on the big screen, so I've still not seen it on a screen bigger than like about yay. So.
Dude.
Yeah,
it'll happen.
And it's
3D.
It's going to be, and I bet the 3D with that will be a good conversion.
I think it would have to be,
I don't think that Spielberg would do it unless it was going to be a good job,
right?
You know? So
because he's Spielberg.
Yeah. And I mean, what James Cameron did with Titanic when he put that in 3D, it was actually
Did it work? I
worked
that
very well.
That, so
it was absolutely incredible. We were both sort of blown away by every drop of rain. Oh man, that's gonna suck when what's his face is like out with the Jeep and he's trying to get the air cell because it's just pouring on him and I love that movie. That is fun.
Are the kids okay? Kids Kids are fine. Get scared. I'm not scared. I didn't say you were.
Hold on to your butts.
I love that movie. But
So good.
let's talk about Pete winning.
Sure.
It started as like a little short film.
That's right.
Yeah, and actually got a really wicked response from everything that occurred, right?
Well, that was how the idea of the web series started. Basically, we were doing a short film for a contest. The Action on Film Festival was a festival that I had ties with. I'd played a movie there before, and they said, we're doing this thing where if you submit an action sequence under 10 minutes, we'll have a voting thing and you can win a prize. And I was like, all right, well, I want to take part in this. I haven't done an action thing in a while, and that'll be cool. And I'd moved on to a boat recently, so I had a boat because it's my home. So I was like, I'm going to use this somehow because that's going to be...
That's called production value.
Well, that's exactly my point, right?
Yeah.
So basically we decided we were going to do this action sequence with this guy being dragged like Indian
That's right, I
raiders.
saw that, yeah.
And
through the water.
Basically through the water he was going to be dragged, and I was like, all right, I want to do something like that using our boats. And so then we wrote the story for the original short film around that action sequence, basically. And then when we put it together and played it at festivals and stuff like that, and people started, really responding to it because they had that, like, that gleeful enjoyment of movies that we were kind of just talking about. People seemed to be responding to it in that kind of a way, and so we were like, you know what, this already is, the style of show is like a serial, so why don't we just do a serial format and actually do a whole bunch of shorts? And the web is, today the best
Yeah.
medium for that.
It's taken off out there.
It is the future of entertainment.
Yeah.
Like it is. I mean, as is. Like, have you seen Game of Thrones?
Oh yeah.
Do you have HBO?
Nope.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
right? How many people? I mean, a lot of people.
I read the books.
I bought the DVD box set,
right, yes.
and all that. No, but that's honestly my point, right? Like, so many people are choosing to even watch stuff that is designed for a televised format, choosing to watch it on the web. So it only makes sense to design the actual format of the show itself to something that is web friendly, like really short episodes as opposed to longer things. People can get a taste for what you're doing that way, and. I mean, I know talking with Jason about his show Out with Dad, which is like insanely popular now. It's the most watched Canadian web series, right? So it's got millions of hits. And it's like, so he's had his fans asking him for longer episodes. So each time he releases it, the only complaint he typically gets is it was too short. So he started off doing 3 or 4 minute episodes, and then 6, 7, 8, and now his average episode is, I think, 12 or 15 minutes or something like that. Just because he has the demand for it. But the thing was, he was able to build this audience for this great show, starting with these short things because people would quickly watch them. If they liked them, they would quickly share them. It's when you haven't heard of something before, it's a very there's no commitment involved to a little 4-minute episode.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can then determine whether you like it and choose whether you're going to watch them all, and it doesn't feel like you're sitting down for an hour to watch something. Or whatever.
Doesn't feel like you're wasting time at work, or
even though you are. You trick them. That's the future of entertainment.
I never
Better
waste
tricking.
time at work.
I'm getting paid to 4-minute breaks at a time.
Yeah, well, we just kind of dipped into web series with Guidestones is where we kind of
like,
fell into it.
Right.
And we're like, there's this whole kind of, currently it's a subculture, but it's definitely growing more mainstream, and it's and there's so much out there.
Yes.
I mean, Clutch has been on for feels like forever now.
I think they're in their 2nd season. I actually have a cameo in Clutch.
That's right. I saw
I've got this really awesome. I'm wearing this like ridiculous shiny suit with a t-shirt underneath, and I'm carrying an Uzi, and I'm on this. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. My part is it's a tiny part, but it was so much fun to do, and to be a part of a show like that was awesome. So, but yeah, it's 2nd season, so I think they've been around for a year or two now.
Because they've been at Fan Expo and stuff, but I think they were there even before they debuted as well. That's why it seems like it's been longer.
Well, the crazy thing about them too is
really
that everyone knows about them. They're not even on YouTube because it's rated R. Like, how the heck they managed to develop an audience like that attests to the quality of the show, because it's like... And to the passion behind people who like it because they're sharing it. It's not people on YouTube stumbling upon it.
Yeah,
it's
true. Yeah.
It's people saying, I like this web series. I mean, they're on, I think, Coldcast, which obviously has a great following for web series, but just
you still
by
have to go
numbers,
looking for
it's not statistically. YouTube is the number 2 search engine in the world. It's the number 1 video platform, but it's the number 2 search engine. So if you're looking up anything, you're likely to go on YouTube at some point.
Yeah.
So.
Well, not everything. I'm just saying.
No, but some stuff.
Yes. But and then Pete Winning, who is awesome, because you haven't seen like any of the clips yet. But it's kind of.
And I couldn't go on the boat.
No, you couldn't go on the boat.
It's a big sad day for Susie.
It was a big sad day.
That was a fun day.
That was a great day. My favorite part of not my favorite, but one of my highlights of the entire day was the boat transfer at the end when Sandra and I were getting ready to leave, because at that point the water was a little choppy.
We have that on film, actually. Jason taped it.
No.
Yeah.
I've got my hat on.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, this is like a real Indiana Jones.
You look pretty awesome.
I'm gonna have to see that film.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pete
We get part of our opening credits every week or something.
Hold on to your hat.
It's like a science fiction romp is a great word, I think, for it. So, but can you give us like a little? What is Pete Winning? Who is Pete Winning? What's he do?
He is a pirate, and he's in 2035. He is searching for the maps of the new layout of Canada, because what has happened is global warming has flooded everything. So no one knows where anything is anymore, and there's no internet anymore because this war happened. So there are pockets of radiation, and people travel through them, and as you saw, they're the uglies, as they call them. So people who don't know where they're going and who aren't good at keeping their own charts get horribly disfigured, and so the trick is to avoid the radiation, and Pete has been capturing the evil queen's maps that she charted, and she basically runs the lay of the land, and so he's after the final part. The map was divided into 3 pieces, and now he's after the last one, and he's trying to build a crew and head into the lion's den in the east and get this. So it's a comedy, it's an adventure, it's campy, but it's not cheesy, is what we're going to say.
Oh, cool.
So it's a lot of fun. I mean, we had a lot of fun doing it. I mean, it's the exact kind of production that I have been dreaming of making since I was a baby, basically, right? So, I mean, it's not every day you get to do that kind of thing. So, so for us, I mean, that was probably the coolest thing about it was the energy on set. Was just, I mean, you experienced it, right?
The energy was pretty high.
Everyone wanted to be there, and everyone was just. I mean, we were all kids playing in a sandbox, is how it is. So, you know. And
that usually translates too into the material when everybody's really enjoying themselves, and
well, there was a great chemistry
there because they want to be
amongst everyone.
Everybody
and it really
seemed to really get along. I didn't see anybody not having a good time.
It was a lot of fun.
Well, let's run down the cast, because Sue knows at least one of the cast members. She was here a couple of weeks ago. Sandra is in. Robert Nolan, who and who was just, of course, in what was the movie I just watched?
Sick.
There we go. Yeah, he was
by Ryan Andrews.
And that short at the Toronto After Dark that I can't remember the name of the short.
But apparently he was in almost in every other movie involving the snow. That film festival.
He is honestly, he is a local celebrity.
Yeah.
Like he is, if you are in the industry, you know Robert Nolan, and there's a good chance you've worked with him.
Yeah.
And if you haven't, you want to.
Yeah, exactly.
That was my vibe. I remember getting in touch with him a couple of years ago for this little short that I was doing, and I remember I was like, oh man, I'm gonna ask Robert Nolan to be in my movie. I've seen him in so much stuff, and I was a little starstruck when we finally met. And I don't think he even knows that. So that's he'll see this and find that.
He does now. That's right.
Unless you cut that out.
No. It's there. It's there permanently now.
Yes.
And you've got Saffron Cassidy.
Yes, who plays
your sidekick.
She does, Eva. Yes, she's the she replaces the actress Susanna Mackay, who played Eva in the pilot.
Right. Yeah.
So there. So yeah, Saf is so cool. She's one of my favorite actors to work with. Actually, I would almost say it's almost like we're brother and sister, sort of the way we interact with each other. It's a lot of fun, and we really we hit it off, and she's a real good sport. It's kind of funny sometimes to see her doing the stuff that she does in the show, and she's such a, she does a lot of comedy, but when you meet her in real life, she's a very composed person, and she's so respectable, and then you put her in this pirate outfit and give her a laser gun, and she just lets loose and has a lot of fun. So that's a lot of
you just let at her.
just goes. Because I remember chatting with her ever so briefly, like between shots, and she's just so quiet. I'm like, wait, not 5 seconds ago you were blowing the head. I don't get it. But it's a great looking cast.
Yes.
Except for that lead guy, I don't know about.
Well, and I mean, he's a real jerk to work with.
It must have been.
It's the only regret was this Mike Donis guy.
I hear they're doing wonderful things with CG work nowadays, though. So
they are.
Yeah.
They are. Yeah. So they're gonna basically, you're not gonna see him in the end product. It's gonna be basically someone else.
But I will say your costume is awesome. I love. He's got like a little sack.
Oh yeah, you're saying
that costume is a cross between the genius of Sam Aylesworth and Guy Latulippe. So Guy designed the wrist laser and the satchel, and Sam designed the rest of my costume, but everyone's costume in the whole show. And how she managed to do it, I have no idea, because we're on a web series budget, and she ended up fully costuming, I think, about 40 or 50 different people for this one scene. We have we have this huge bar scene, and there's a whole bunch of extras, and everyone's wearing a unique costume, and she, it's unbelievable.
She's in a sleep coma now.
She pretty much, when we were done shooting, she was very happy.
Can imagine.
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun. It's coming up, in January you're going to launch it?
February. So January is our completion. But we gotta build up a little bit of hype first.
Yeah, let's do that.
So we'll be cutting trailers and whatnot, and organizing the actual launch event, which the details haven't been completely planned out yet, but there's talk of doing some kind of it's set in the 30s, this show, because it's the 2030s, and the style is like those Errol Flynn films of the 1930s, so I want to do a 30s Hollywood premiere type event.
That'd be cool.
I'm going to be there. I can wear my fedora again.
You absolutely better.
And my pants.
I certainly hope so.
I mean, not just wearing my pants, but yeah.
Fancy.
Anyway, I'm going to go over here.
But
I'll see to it that Tim wears pants.
Or if you send your resume and your picture. Anyway.
We'll wear pants.
But yeah, I love that idea. Because my coworker Rob and I have been chatting a lot about how we would just love to have like a kind of Art Deco 1930s bar somewhere here in town where you can't get in unless you got like a shirt and tie and a jacket. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. Wicked.
So I think it'd be awesome. Get some jazz music maybe playing.
Yes.
It should be a lot of fun. So we want to have the event be as much of a spectacle as the show. The camp and the size of it all and all that stuff, we want it to match. So we're gonna plan something real fun. So it'll be early February is when that'll happen.
We're free.
Well, you better show up. I'd love to have you.
Yeah, we haven't started booking February yet. We're actually okay, I think.
Yeah. Excellent.
Which is insane. Our schedules are just through the roof.
That is a good thing.
I know.
Yes. It makes you go crazy, but it keeps you sane at the same time.
Well,
yes.
Ryan keeps us in line. With that big serious.
I have the Pocket Whip app on my phone if you ever want to use it.
Oh.
It makes a whip sound.
Nice.
It's awesome.
I have no response to that.
I've gotten quite good with it.
I'm like, I almost said something really bad there. I'm not gonna. I will say one of the things that I did love, besides being on the boat all day, is the fact that just the way you shot it, it's gonna look fantastic. Because you guys waited until we went out around the island, and they shot it so that it looks like you're out in the open ocean. There is nothing but water behind you, so it looks...
Well, that's the world, right? So you have to put that together. So that was the biggest challenge for Jason and I from a tech standpoint, actually, was just how can we get the number of shots that we need to get in a day from all these different boats while not showing anything remotely modern. Yeah. Or if it is modern, it has to be old looking because it's in the future from so awesome. So that was it's a lot of fun.
And he lives on a boat.
Yeah.
That's
and I do live on a boat.
That kind of gets cool points right there.
Took me back to Beachcombers. I was like, is he relic?
It's a lot of fun, I'm not gonna lie. It is a lot of fun. It is. I feel like every day you're camping or something. It's a bit of an adventure. So
But it looks gorgeous.
Thank you.
from what I've seen, and that was only just me being there, so I'm actually looking forward to actually seeing some of it cut together. I see the lasers in, lasered in.
Yes. Well, we're in post right now, so the lasers are in.
That's right. You just did ADR.
We did ADR, and that went amazingly. I was actually like, the big concern was that of the cast that I'd worked with before, I know how everyone does with ADR, so I'm like, great. But because obviously when you're out at sea, there is a lot of ADR required because it's so noisy when you're out there, right? There's so much stuff. It's virtually impossible. Like, our guide track is actually inaudible. It's not just bad quality sound, but for certain scenes. But there was a big close-up, and the camera's like right here, and you still can't hear what the guy's saying. So. So ADR is just a requirement, but the thing is, luckily, first of all of the cast was exceptional ADR. It helps, like Sean Devlin, who plays Finch. I mean, he does voice acting routinely. So for him, it was just, he just showed up.
Just another day.
So he was great at it. And but I remember with Shane, who, I don't know if you met Shane. Shane Dovey. He plays a surprise villain in one of the episodes. And he's got a lot of stuff that we needed to dub. And he came in, and I'd never worked with him in ADR before. And so I remember being nervous, and we'd booked like a 6-hour block for his episode, because I was like, you know what, like we can't afford to do another block later if we don't get it done. So it makes more sense. And he came in, and he was just and he banged, and so it got to the point where he did it so quick that then we were just doing alternate takes. And so I mean, that's the cool thing about ADR, is that it's not necessarily just a corrective procedure. You can actually use it as an opportunity to even improve the acting and improve things, because as long as it does look like that's what they're saying, they can actually say different things or have different inflections in their voice, as long as it still looks like that's what they're saying. And so we kind of played around a bit, and we got a different set of options. So now we get to kind of do a second audio edit based on stuff that does sync up to our locked picture. And yeah, so
that is cool. Yeah. And then, although we haven't touched base on like the big villain, I mean, you guys have your it's Terry
He.
Yeah, who's got like a huge following.
He is huge
following. I know nothing about this guy, but he's huge.
I don't know what his number's at now, but I think it's like 30,000 subscribers on YouTube alone.
Good
he's
Lord.
A singer, and he's got tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of fans. And so I met him when we were doing the pilot, because Aaron Sang, who does, he produces everything with me, he writes stuff with me, and he writes the score for all my stuff, was producing music with Terry. And so he was producing some of his pop stuff. So he knew this guy, and he was like, he's actually a really good actor, he's a trained actor, and he's interested in doing some film stuff. He hasn't done a lot of film stuff. And so if there's anything that you've ever got him for, he'd be really interested in meeting with you and talking about it. So I was like, okay, cool. And I mean, originally I'd actually expected that the role that he played was going to be like a middle-aged Spanish guy, and yet then we were kind of like, well, what if we did put someone like Terry in this part, who's like this super sexy young Asian dude, and he brought like a David Bowie charm sort of to the role, and
awesome.
he really added a great energy, and so. And then he, of course, also brings a great audience too, which is really, really helpful when you're starting a web series, right? So that's equally exciting. But yeah, he's a dream to work with. We're definitely actually just good friends now too, outside of professionally speaking. So yeah,
that's awesome.
He's a real badass.
I didn't get to meet him that day because he wasn't there, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what he does, because I'm like, how does this guy have 30? What?
Check out his stuff.
Yeah,
he's got a whole bunch of music videos.
Well, since then, I texted him in, I'm like, how does this happen?
Yeah, that is the beauty of the internet, though, right? Because it's all about the niche marketing. People who, if there are people who can absolutely love you, then those people can find you. And so as long as you have something that people can love, it doesn't matter. And some people may never have heard of it, but then the people who've heard of it get to see everything about it and obsess over it. And you're not...
you don't know what that's about.
Totally
what?
Obsess over anything.
No.
And I obsess over everything, so that's a good balance. Yeah. But you look at it, like Justin Bieber started as a YouTube kid making his own drumming videos and stuff. So, and that just exploded. And who else? Oh, Gangnam Style. That was the other thing I was thinking.
Apparently, Obama does in the White House. I read that today.
So he does it in the White House?
in the White House because it bothers his daughters. It embarrasses them, so he does it to embarrass them.
He's so best.
Cool. Right? Well, I saw a link yesterday that my friend posted. It's like 25 pictures you haven't seen of President Obama. Blah, 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 blah. And
him playing with this little Spider-Man kid.
There's this little
hilarious.
kid. He's one of the kids of one of the staffers. He's all dressed up as Spider-Man, so he's pretending to shoot webs, and Obama's just like, ah. I'm like, you're just so cool. Why can't
Such
we
a dad.
You?
You know?
And he called Harper a lump. So I'm like,
oh yeah, I heard about that. I know that was that's interesting.
I'm like, good call. Call him. It looks like he used car salesman. He just bothers me. I didn't vote for him.
No, neither did I.
I didn't either.
Just saying, and I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, but yeah. Ska. But I've really gotten off track. I can't help it.
What? Rob Ford? What?
Oh no.
Now Stephen Harper will never watch Pete Winning.
Yeah, yes. I ruined it.
He would have otherwise loved it though.
Yeah, that's
his
right.
Thing, so.
But it's
if he would just stop obsessing about our show, then you would never hear this conversation.
You will never get our vote that way, Harper. But it's I can't wait to see it. We've been chatting with is it Emily? Your
Emma Cunningham.
Yes, who's been fantastic, and she's tried to time this out so well. I'm like, make sure you give us enough lead-in time because it'll usually take like a week before the episodes go up, and so take that into account when we start pushing the show. She's like, okay, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, she's just timing everything for her. She wants this
knows
huge.
What the heck she's doing.
Yeah.
We would not have been doing the show if it wasn't for her because basically she ran our PR campaign during the Indiegogo fundraiser for it.
Oh, cool.
So we would not have had the money that we had to do the show at all if it wasn't for her doing her thing. So.
Everybody's using Indiegogo now.
It's a really good. Well, I consider them all the same.
Yeah, exactly.
There's minor differences between them, but yeah, they're really great tools. They're cool because again, it's that thing where if you can get people who do care about your thing, proportionate to how much people care, you can raise funds.
Yeah.
And so if there are a lot of people who care a little bit, you can still raise a lot of money.
Yeah.
If there are a few people who care a lot, you can still raise enough money. So the thing is,
Which is awesome.
You would have never been able to do that 5 years ago.
No.
Just could not.
Really
This show could not have happened for so many reasons if we were just doing it a couple years ago. So the timing is so right for it, which adds to the excitement of it all. You know what I mean? Because
That's wow.
Yeah, it's even special effects. Who can do special effects?
Right?
Who can film in HD? Who can basic tech stuff?
Yeah, and you shot on 2 cameras at the same time. They're both 5Ds, right?
Yeah, and you could fit them within a space of like this much, where one camera wouldn't fit that much. It would have weighed 6 times the weight. Yeah, it's unbelievable the stuff that technology.
And I couldn't get a 35mm camera when I was a kid, or a Super 8. I couldn't get either of them. Just saying. I could have been making movies.
Yeah,
that actually is.
The next one will be shot on GoPro.
And we had an 8mm camera, and so I was like 5, and I made little videos. My parents actually let me do this stuff.
That's easy.
So that is why I'm able to do it.
See, I restrained myself like twice while I was on your set. I actually physically restrained myself because I wanted to go over and say, "What if you try it like this?" Camera's like this, but I'm like, nope.
I have a Super 8 app on my phone.
So I'm going to come in as a guest director, I think.
That's right. Season 2.
Yeah.
Season 2.
Yeah. Or at least a guest.
You're going to be so busy. You've got spec scripts for Lost Girl. You've got
Yeah, that came out. And we're going to have a Brogoff.
Yeah.
With Chris Holden-Reed.
Mm-hmm.
Because
you've got a lot to do.
I'm just a lot to do.
Like writing novels and going to work.
I know, it's terrible. But I'm all for a cameo in season 2. Like, I could be like an old.
Oh yeah,
I could be like Pete Winning's dad. Junior.
We named the dog Indiana.
Or maybe it was a fish.
Maybe it was a fish. A guppy.
Things flooded, that's right.
Pete the Guppy.
Yep.
Now, despite the fact you wrote it and you directed it.
Well, I didn't write it by myself.
Okay.
I didn't do it all by myself. James Christopher helped.
Okay.
And in fact, he actually, I'm not going to say he made it good because it was pretty freaking awesome. The version but he did. He added. He's from Austin, Texas, and so he added a little bit more of a cowboy edge to the character.
Cool.
Excellent.
Which definitely, like he Indiana Jonesified him sort of in a way. Which was cool. So he definitely added a lot. So I just don't want to take all the credit for that writing. Once it's out there, you know.
Yeah. But is there an episode or a sequence you're looking forward to seeing when it's all done?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
There's in episode 4, which is our season finale.
Spoiler free as you can make it.
Okay. That's gonna be tough. There was one sequence in particular, like, you know how I was saying I had this image in my head of this guy, like Indiana Jones, being dragged by this boat.
Yeah.
I had this image in my head when we were writing season 2 of this guy waltzing between blasts of lasers, climbing from one ship aboard the other, and they're just zipping all around him, and so we managed to get that in one action sequence, which is really, really, really fun, and it's it was a lot of effects, and there was a lot, you're dealing with all the perspectives. I wish we shot this in 3D. We almost did, actually. We talked about building, Jason and I, we had plans to build our own rig, but then the cameras weren't going to be controllable enough if the ones that we could get were small enough, a whole bunch of tech issues. So we decided we wanted to ensure that the 2D version was not compromised at all, so thus we couldn't shoot it in 3D.
Yeah.
But, oh man, so this shot was designed in 3D, and with the lasers, adding the perspectives of them all coming from all the different angles and stuff, it looks so cool. So I'm really, and it's the most fun episode. It's also the most dramatic episode. It's also the season finale, and this action sequence is the climax of that. And so it's I can't wait to see that. So that, I guess, will be in April when that's coming out.
It's a long
But we'll have other stuff.
Yeah,
like the rest of the season to gear up for that.
Fine.
Because there's other cool stuff. Don't worry. It's just the best episode is episode 4.
Fine.
Yes.
It's got pretty boats. The boats are gorgeous,
aren't they?
They're just.
We lucked out. We got so many people that.
So gorgeous. I mean, they're boats. They're not like little dinghies. They're boats.
No, that was again, because we'd done the pilot, I was able to show a whole bunch of people in the marina what we had done initially. So in the pilot, it's my boat and my buddy's boat. But then we started actually getting people volunteering, like, hey, if you need, you can use my boat for a day if you want. And then
hang out anymore is what we need to do.
Seriously. I'll use your boat for a day.
Which, I love it. I'm very excited. I did tell Sandra when I interviewed her on the boat originally, because we talked about her character, she wants to come back for season 2. She wants to, she wants secrets to be learned about her character. Well,
there are many secrets to be learned. No. That's the fun thing, because when we originally wrote it, it was with the idea of a 12-episode season. And so we ended up doing a 4-episode season for various reasons. But that means that there's a lot more story that I know, and I haven't told anybody yet. So even like Sandra doesn't know what happens to her character in the next. And so that is.
She's gonna be calling you up after she sees this. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good.
It's gonna happen,
and you'll be like, "Too bad."
You gotta wait. But it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I mean I think the newest thing for me about all this is because I've done films before that were one-off films. I did a feature film, I've done shorts, but this is the first time I've done something that's actually continuing for an inevitable, or an indeterminate amount of time. So that is a different kind of exciting, because usually you finish your movie and it's like, all right, great, now it's done. I'm tying my hands. I'm not going to work on it anymore. Yeah. World, watch this, judge me. Yeah. Whereas this time it's like, world, watch this, judge me, but what you think I can now actually use to my advantage for the next episodes. Yeah. And so that's kind of neat, because to see how people's response to the show actually shapes the show. Like we have an idea for the story, but in terms of the details and how many jokes this one character has, or what kinds of jokes this one character has, we can kind of play with as we go along. So it's always kind of an evolving process,
like
which is different for me. and so that's very.
And characters themselves can grow and
and
bring more background and have more stuff that changes them as they go forward. So.
Well, and there's so much that isn't specified in first season because this world is the world they're in, and so the stuff that's vital to understanding what's going to happen and what just happened is explained. But there are so many other, expanded universe possibilities that you can do with something, right?
Always fun.
Star Wars.
Do whatever.
I love that stuff. Well, I think we both get that anyway because we both write anyway. And I mean, Because I remember my first book I wrote this huge fantasy trilogy.
Yeah?
And by the time I was done with the first book, I thought I knew the characters like really well. But by the time we got into the second book, the characters started learning and doing things that I was like, where did you get that from? And so I love the whole fact that characters can grow and expand, especially in a series where you establish the world. Second season's about character and world building, and then third season you are free to do whatever you want. You've created everything.
It's a thing that exists now. It's almost bigger than you at that point,
At that point you're just kind of along for the ride as opposed to trying to control it.
Yeah.
I love that.
And you go from like characters that only begin to exist at the moment that you start.
Yeah.
And then they start bringing in stuff from their own past and stuff, which makes it even more...
It's spooky when that happens.
Yeah.
Especially in writing.
Yes, well, Saffron's character, Eva, she's probably my favorite character in the show, but based on season 1, she isn't my favorite character.
Okay.
But knowing what does happen to her, that's just stuff that she hasn't revealed about herself yet. And when you find it out, you're gonna be like, oh no! and that's gonna be cool. So there's neat little kind of like character twists that come. Not everything is as it seems, so it's.
Oh, I love it. Now, we said we're starting the push is in January and then it's in February. Okay, so what are we looking at for like a push? Where can we find you? Where can fans find you? Where can we pimp the shit?
The shit out of. I would say our Facebook page is probably the best, just because I really like Facebook. So
I
Facebook,
wouldn't know that. I've never seen you on that.
I'm never on it.
Never.
Right? I think I just responded to 180 something birthday messages.
I saw that.
I did every single one I tried.
Wow.
I did my best. I love Facebook. Facebook's such a good. But so Facebook.com/Pete Winning and the Pirates is our Facebook page.
Nice.
And
which I think Ryan is telling me is
this
he's got that up
what's
right
happening
now.
right now? Or have we got?
That's what this was. I thought I was in the West Wing, then he was going like this, and the plane got away okay, but I gotta stop watching the West Wing.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. Such good.
Are you mad, man?
But that's awesome. So
yes.
Facebook is the main place to go for it.
Facebook's the main place. We've also got a Twitter, which is Pete_winning, and we've got PeteWinningandthepirates.com.
Nice.
Is it Pete Winning and spelled out?
A-N-D, yes.
Okay.
So not an ampersand.
That's right.
Yeah, because I actually don't know how to say that. The little and symbol. I call it the and symbol.
Yup. And she's a better writer than I am. That's all
I am.
Wow, you just took that there. I am.
There's no time to argue.
You've got to be honest, right?
Tim, your books suck.
I don't like to argue with you, Tim. It's an argument I would be happy to lose.
There you are. That's right.
Like, where am I even going with this?
Yeah.
That's awesome, which I love, because I'm so looking forward to this. I really am, because just from that day on the set, it was such a... I'm fairly sure I tweeted you a couple times through the course of the day, and as soon as I got home, I'm like, there was so much fun. And there was a boat. Yeah, it was great, so I can't wait to see what ends up on the screen, and it's just going to be
you're
so
like,
much fun.
It's okay that you didn't come, though.
I know you
wouldn't have felt good. It would have been bad.
Would have been
but it was so fun. I do, but I was also not feeling well to start that day.
You would have been in trouble because it got really windy that day.
Towards the end of the day.
That's what he said. He was like, it's actually really good that you, because I was toying. I was like, well, maybe the fresh air and stuff. I was like, no, I don't think I'm gonna make it. And then he's like, it was probably best that you didn't come.
I can't remember if that was the day or if it was a different day, but there was one time it got so windy that we actually had to reframe the shot so that Saf and I could hold the lifelines on the side of the boat to make it look like we were standing up properly.
Wow.
Because we were actually falling over every take. I think we ended up going through like 13 takes and then deciding we're using a different camera angle. We're not
We're here all day.
On the dock and we do this.
Green screen. Green screen.
Yeah. We can do that. We have our own green screen here.
We sure do.
We do not have a single green screen shot at Pete winning.
You're kidding me.
And we thought we were going to have to. But we somehow, so there are some shots that look green screen, but they aren't, we promise. So, yeah,
we don't have one in mind reels yet either, but we want one.
We're going to find a way. Why don't we shoot this in front of
We're
a
going to
green
go to the
screen?
Shire. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go to the Shire. For second breakfast.
Second breakfast. Did you see it?
Yes.
Yeah,
we were
in
there opening
48p?
night. No, we saw it 24.
Did you?
Yeah.
How did it work? It was great.
I loved it.
I mean, it's a movie in 24, so it's...
I liked it.
I did it.
You know, the 3D, I could have taken the 3D or left it. I was fine either way. It was just...
I thought it was a really neat use of 3D. I thought that Jackson really...
I just got to the point where I didn't notice it after a while. I'm like,
But you see, that's the point.
Yeah.
It still gives you that sense of depth, which subconsciously affects you narratively,
yeah.
right? But it doesn't actually necessarily. That's what I love about 3D. I'm a huge 3D fan, and the 48 frames was so interesting.
Did you see it in 48?
I did.
Oh.
I saw it on the opening night, and actually the projector froze at one point because of an overload because of all the frames. So I got
free movie.
Yeah. But no, it was cool because the thing is like it's so different. So you have to the movie kind of hits you in a different way because a lot of people compare it to looking like like TV or a soap opera, which it doesn't because it's Lord of the Rings. Like it's The Hobbit. Sorry, but it's a big scale epic.
How enthusiastic you're getting about.
No, but you know what I'm saying. Like it's
Middle Earth.
It's a huge thing, and so it does not look cheap. No. It looks liquid smooth. So the fluidness makes fluidity. I don't know what the word would be. The fluidity. It does bring you in, but because it doesn't look like what a movie looks like, that aspect of it is distracting. So there are elements that are actually more engaging because of it. Like I remember in some of the action sequences, and they would have this, like the camera would just swoop and you're looking down on them, and you could see down like this pit or whatever, and you're just like, whoa, like it looks like you're actually like, I'm used to seeing 3D, I love 3D, and that I did a few times actually feel like, doing the grab at it. It was real, but then at the same time, because it doesn't feel like a movie, there's almost like a safe world that normal movie makes you feel like because it doesn't actually look like life, and that safety net for you is gone, and so you have to get used to that before you watch the movie. Otherwise it's strange because that is actually distracting, that it doesn't feel like a movie, and yet it clearly is one.
Yeah, because you're just thinking about that as opposed to getting into the actual story.
It's a type of thing where I think it's a really awesome tool. I love that Peter Jackson actually used the tool and he used it so well. And the thing is, it's exciting to see, once more stuff starts getting shot at 48, once we start getting more used to it, and it no longer is something that we're paying attention to. Yeah. When was the last time? I mean, I don't pay attention, or at least if I do, I don't care what aspect ratio the movie is in.
Yeah.
It could be CinemaScope, it could be...
really
as long as it's the original aspect ratio, that's fine. But I mean, in terms of, I don't care if they chose to shoot the movie...
Oh yeah, if they choose to shoot in 35, I'm fine with that.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And so, but that's my point, right? So, it will probably eventually, I hope, get to the point where 48 is just its own look that movies also have. Yeah. And then you get the creative benefits of that realism without the distraction. That's what it was, wow, I talked a lot about someone else's movie. I'm bad at this.
No,
I love Gollum.
In the conversation. And that's what we do, is we chat.
We converse.
Yeah. Let's see. But yeah, Gollum was pretty good in that.
I was happy to see Gollum again.
Oh, he was so good.
He was good in that.
Andy Serkis is
awesome. He really is.
I quite liked it. I'm going to see it again. I am going to go see it in the 48.
Yep.
Just because.
Which I think the Paramount or Scotiabank has.
They do.
As well, yeah.
Yeah, because we saw it in the IMAX 3D, but yes.
Nice.
Which was gorgeous.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah, I like it. But anyway, sorry, Pete winning. Watch for it. Follow it on Facebook, Twitter, all of that. I do all of that because I know them. That's awesome. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this. It's going to be a fantastic series. That is my... I'm not going to use the word guarantee, but I promise you will enjoy it. I enjoyed it. And then you can say cameo for us next season. Just Put that in. Email Mike. Tweet at him.
Bombard him.
Shit out of him.
Yes. If we get 100 new subscribers the day after this goes live, you've got yourself a cameo, my friend.
Come on, Audrey.
So-
I know you can do this, Audrey.
I'm gonna start lining people up now, and I'll let Ryan know when I've got some, and then I'll be like, okay, now you can put it up, and I'll tell them what date to go.
But that's
Don't do it yet. Wait for my say.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it because it's going to be a fantastic web series. I mean, and I'm so glad that we are getting into web series in general just because there's so much out there.
There's so much out there.
It's amazing. I love it.
And it's all different. Everybody's got like a different idea and a different theme to go with, a different feel for everything.
That's the thing. There's something for everyone.
Yeah.
You know, if
people
you,
can
if
just
you
go
have
creative in a
internet
different
access,
way.
There will be something online that you can watch that you will love.
And it doesn't always have to be like cat videos or something.
No, there's nothing wrong with it.
But it can be.
Polar bear videos or what have you.
Did you guys see that eagle thing that turned out to be fake?
Turned out to be fake, but yeah.
I thought it was real, man.
I was like, I'm watching it going, really? You've got the hawk right from the get-go? And
That's why he started taping. Because, oh man, look. The thing that tipped me off to think it could be fake was the fact that the father didn't seem truly terrified.
Yeah, he's just like,
He was like, oh, and then he ran. So that was what tipped me off, but I figured it was real, therefore that was his reaction, therefore, I don't know, maybe he's just a bad father. Like,
Yeah.
Ryan,
Maybe he's just slow in shock dealing with
that's right.
stuff.
Maybe. But I was just like, yeah, it looked great. It did look great, but I'm like, it's not real.
I mean, you don't know how you would respond if an eagle came and took your... I mean, when I was in Colorado, this is terrible too. I can't even believe, just don't watch this part, Kimmy. When I was in Colorado, nothing bad happened, but it was pointed out to me after that something terrible could have. I was like sitting out in the backyard with my ex's daughter, and we had the dogs out there, and there was another dog in the like the back fence, and then on the other side, the yard on the other side, there was another much bigger dog, and our dogs were like yipping at each other through the fence. So I'm like hanging out there, and I'm like, oh, be quiet, you guys are being so loud. And I look over, and there's this giant owl in a tree in the neighbor's yard. So I get my camera and I start taking pictures of this owl, and it's like turning its head right around, and then it's like watching the dogs for a while. And one of the dogs in particular was quite little, and it was sort of pointed out to me after that, like,
did he get it?
No, didn't even go for it. But I sort of slowly made the canal. I'm like taking all these pretty pictures, and then.
Wait a second.
Oh, Pooja, get back here! Get in the house! And my brother's like, how long were you taking pictures while this dog was like attracting the owl's attention?
Death.
But yeah,
Awesome.
it occurred to me after that could have gone horribly wrong.
You would have had the pictures to prove it.
Yeah.
That's right.
You wouldn't have known it.
Look at the beauty of nature. Oh God.
That's
The horror.
insane. The horror.
Wow.
But it all worked out. But sometimes you just don't know how you're going to respond or how quickly.
I hope I'm never in that
a bird
scenario.
of prey swoops down out of the sky
I hope I'm never
to take
gonna see
something
it.
small and meaningful to you.
That's right.
I'm just saying.
Wow.
Now I want a bird of prey.
Wow.
A falcon. I always wanted a falcon when I was little.
Did you?
I wanted to be like the kid with the glove.
The thing? Yeah.
I wanted to be Lady Hawk.
Lady Hawk. I was about to say, here it comes.
I wanted Michelle Pfeiffer to come and land on my arm and
Yes,
just like
I did too.
be a woman at night.
Anyway,
Moving along.
I was thinking more Batman Returns in that scenario, but anyway, she was hot in that Catwoman outfit. I'm just saying.
She's hot in a paper bag.
Yeah, because she's usually an
really is.
unattractive woman, but
Yeah.
that outfit, she looked good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm gonna hang this up before it goes. Mike,
So you
thank
spell
for
out
coming in.
and the pirates.
That's right.
Peter A&D, the pirate. But Mike, thank you for coming in. It was awesome. I told you we'd get you in here.
Yes, and I'm so glad you
As
did.
good as my word. But yeah, so much fun. We're so looking forward to this series. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, thank you.
It's
I'm
going to be
looking
great.
forward to.
It's going to be awesome.
Well,
There's no doubt.
thank you for having me.
Yeah. It's awesome. And Sue.
And this is only the start of the pimping.
That's right. We will pimp the shit out of this.
Awesome. There will be no shit left in it by the time you're done painting.
See? I love
That's
it.
right.
And Sue, with your awesome hat and your awesome shirt,
Yeah.
brown coat shirt.
Nice.
Toy Story
Serenity
brown
and
coat
Beyond.
shirt.
Love
Firefly
Yeah.
and Disney all meshed into one.
Wicked.
Thank you, honey.
So thanks for coming out tonight.
Thanks, Tim.
It was
It's
awesome.
a miserable night outside,
It's terrible
too.
out
It's
there.
a weird
Yeah.
night. It's like it should be snowing, but it
but it's
shouldn't
not.
be, and it's
Yeah.
not, and it's
It's just
not-
really cold rain, but it's not even committing to rain. It's
Yeah.
just sort of windy
Yeah.
and
It's
spitting
awkward.
on you.
Yeah, I'm glad that I came here because inside at home it's like moving all over the place.
No doubt.
That's gotta be living on a boat.
It's a rough night.
And Ryan, thank you for doing our sound and our picture. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so
And everybody at home or wherever you're watching this, for
On a boat.
Smithy TV, this is the Mind Reels. Sue and Tim, that's us. Who we're not together.
Tim.
Thank you and good night.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.
In today's world, people are busy and impatient. We are on information overload. Every minute counts. People want to know what you can do for them. They won't spend time reading or searching, but they will watch a video. If it clearly explains who you are and what you do and tells them what they want to hear, they will reach out to you. You have seconds to get people's attention. You want a video that is engaging and makes the viewer feel as though it is speaking directly to their needs. Add to your sales team a short video and let it do the heavy selling for you. Or add to your social media or wherever your audience is spending their time. Videos can pay back your investment 10 times over. So now that you've heard our message, let's talk about yours. Let's bring your image to life.